that's a turntable in there. If you can't do that to your turntable after you've packed it, you haven't packed it properly. A few things to keep in mind. I've received a few turntables in my time, and invariably they're packed badly. A few of the golden things they don't do. They don't double box. They have to double box, but really, if you're not going to do that, you should at least have reinforcing material on the inside around the corners. There should be a couple of inches everywhere around the turntable, and the top and the bottom as well of padding material. The padding material can be anything. People say, oh, you shouldn't use peanuts, you shouldn't use egg crates, stuff like that. Long as there's something to pad it, I'm not too fussed what it is. The things to keep in mind when packing a turntable is to assume the worst case scenario. In fact, this doesn't go just for turntables, it goes for anything on eBay. I deal with vintage amplifiers and computers, electronic stuff, so the principles are the same for everything, but turntables are very delicate. And the principles are: assume it's going to be thrown, kicked, shoved and dropped. If you don't plan for that, it could well arrive damaged. Assume the postman's going to throw it off a lorry 6 foot onto the pavement below. Assume the person in the depot has got 25 boxes to move 10 yards and it throws them across the corridor into a pile into the corner. Don't assume the fact you've written fragile on it is going to ensure that these things get treated carefully. They do nothing. My stuff doesn't look particularly pretty because the boxes aren't virgin, they aren't new, I haven't bought them especially, and because I run a business, I get lots of material come my way through the business, and I reuse that. It'd be criminal not to. One last thought I'll leave you with: because I assume it's going to be handled by clumsy couriers, tired postmen, people who are trying to get off the shift half-hour early and throw things around, whatever, because I assume the worst and pack accordingly, I've had nothing arrive damaged. And I do send turntables through, heavy ones, Goldwing Lenkos and Technics and whatnot. I send big old amplifiers through, speakers, valve radios, valve amplifiers, and it takes you ages packing them, but it's worthwhile. Some of the stuff that I've received is incredible. I've received Technics turntables, 2 of them. I think the worst thing I've received is 2 Technics turntables in bin liners, held together with a bit of rope. That was it. That was the worst. But typically stuff doesn't get packed properly. It'll have little to no padding. Stuff will be butted right up against the edge of the box. Fairly recently had a valve radio come through, and sides 1, 2 and 3 were packed properly. The top and the bottom weren't, had minimal material, and one of the sides had none. It was literally Bakelite against the cardboard. I mean, even a small kick with a foot would have seen that done, would have seen that be damaged. Even just handling it roughly and pushing it into a lorry would have seen it damaged. I've had turntables come through with a tone arm left to flop around aimlessly. I've had loads of needles damaged, and for the life of me I don't know what goes through a person's head. They open a box, they put a turntable in it, they do nothing to keep the platter in place, to keep the turntable in place, to keep the needle in place. Nothing's removed and stored separately. Forget about taking the lid off and removing the hinges and having that packed separately to the plinth below. That's never done. I think only I do that. And I've had turntables come through with cracked lids emanating from the hinge, because people just leave the lid on top of the plinth via the hinge, and of course if there's any lateral movement in the lid, the hinge, because it doesn't move, because it's fastened to the plinth, it makes the plastic lid shatter. So I've had cracks go along lids and everything. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world, because I always claim for eBay and I always win. These people do themselves no favours. I've even got to the stage now when I win something on eBay, I'll say to them, can you please ensure it's going to be packed properly? And I even give specific instructions, and I say, do not send this through unless you can, confirm that they'll do that. Of course, they get irate and annoyed with me and whatnot. I don't care. I just want my item to arrive safely. And even then, they'll say, yes, I'll do exactly as you ask, and they don't, and it arrives damaged, and I have to claim, and they mess themselves up in the process. So really, it's in everyone's interest, the seller and the buyers, to have these things wrapped properly. I do. I use reused materials. You don't have to buy virgin stuff. You can use old stuff, as long as you take a bit extra to cut everything to shape, cut everything to size, pad everything properly, assume it's going to be handled by idiots. You're not going to have a problem. I never have. On that note, speak to you guys later.